So, experts warn of a major border crisis as U.S. officials meet with the Mexican president, El Presidente, I believe is what they call him. And the Mexican president is proposing a deal with the U.S. to address the issue of migrants crossing the border. And U.S. officials want Mexico to do more to block these migrants at its southern border with Guatemala. The Mexican president is asking for development aid, moolah, money, for migrant home countries and to reduce or eliminate sanctions against Cuba and Venezuela. And the United States has previously sent billions of dollars in funding to other countries such as Ukraine and Mexico in the past. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. First up, I'm not trying to piss you off. I just wanted you to see what happened to my finger here. I almost had to go to the hospital from this tragic accident, and I will fill you guys in on what happened there later. Spoiler alert, everything is okay. Everything's fine.
You're fine.
So first up, the Biden administration is addressing a significant issue where millions of children have lost Medicaid coverage, particularly in 9 states. If you live in any of these states, please comment below. And if any of these or the recent changes impact and affect your children and Medicaid coverage, let me know. Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Montana, New Hampshire, Ohio, South Dakota, and Texas. These states account for 60% of the children's coverage losses between March and September. And I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted. Because of this, I'm not able to scroll on my keypad like I used to, so I have to scroll like this, so it's just weird.
It's awkward.
It's just strange, so I just gotta remember to do that.
It doesn't work with just one?
No, it doesn't work with just one. One just moves.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So to scroll, you gotta do 2 gestures. So this is what Apple does. So 2 fingers or 3 fingers, different gestures, different things happen. But I could go like this. I don't know. That'd be kind of weird.
You're doing too much.
So HHS.
Mess with the bull, get the horn.
Yeah.
Is that how it goes?
One man wolf pack. So it says here that the HHS Secretary Xavier Becerra has urged these states to adopt federal rules that simplify re-enrolling families in Medicaid and the Children's Health Insurance Program, CHIP. If you're going to have anything in the government, before it rolls out, you have to have a way to acronym it.
Yeah. Acronym in it.
HHS, what is HHS? Health and Human Services has
like
also released new guidelines, including giving children an additional 12 months to enroll, available through 2024. So you have all of next year. And Becerra's suggestions include eliminating barriers to CHIP enrollment for children no longer eligible for Medicaid, reducing call center wait times, and expanding Medicaid programs. We're not already done, but reducing call times would mean you probably have to hire more people.
When we know that they're not doing that.
No. However, representatives from Florida, Georgia, and Texas have defended their states' handling of the Medicaid determination or redetermination process, indicating a return to pre-pandemic procedures to ensure only those truly qualified access the program. Texas, for example, has seen a 50% increase in Medicaid caseload during the public health emergency, with children constituting over 70% of this increase. A 12% decrease in enrollment after the emergency is not surprising. In response to the Biden administration's call, Georgia highlighted efforts like auto renewals and outreach at back-to-school events, and the other states mentioned did not respond to requests for comment. I bet you a lot of people are falling into this category of not renewing because they don't know, because they're not answering the phone, they're not answering messages, they're not answering emails, letters, because we had that.
Too many spams.
It's a lot of spam.
Yeah.
But somebody was saying that they were like, no, it was Jamie. And she was like, I think it was Jamie. And she was like, we need to know if your kids are coming back to school, but you're not
responding.
Yeah.
You're not telling us in time.
Data from HHS shows that the 10 states which haven't expanded Medicaid have disenrolled more children than those states that have expanded Medicaid. This is partially because expansion states have adopted more CMS flexibilities than non-expansion states, In non-expansion states, youth turning 19 during the C-19 emergency represent a significant portion of disenrollments, and the issue stems from the end of the public health emergency in May, which required states to review Medicaid enrollee eligibility. This led to nearly 3 million children losing coverage. In August, HHS warned all states that might be violating federal requirements due to long call center waits, high disenrollment due to paperwork issues, and slow application processes. In September, CMS identified the 500,000 people, including children, who lost coverage due to state errors, prompting a directive to pause disenrollments and reinstate those who lost coverage incorrectly under the threat of losing federal funding. And again, they need more people.
Or they're going to find a way, instead of more people, just more AI to answer the phones.
But it's crazy because they're saying that it says because of who lost coverage incorrectly, similar to the people who are being back charged because they were overpaid or underpaid incorrectly by the Social Security SSA administration.
I wonder if they talk about people who gain it incorrectly, or just lose.
I'm sure that there's a lot of cracks in the system and some inefficiency there. Now, I heard that the impact, we got to talk about this, the impact of reduced public transportation on cities and the influx of migrants on government resources like we see in New York City. This reduced public transportation leads to more cars on the road and increased wear and tear on infrastructure. So that's going to depend on where the migrants end up. Because there's not a lot of public transportation, which we know New York has plenty of public transportation, but there's a lot of migrants in New York City. But with that also, New York is now adding a $15 congestion tax or toll. So that's going to add to the problem, I think, in a reduction in public transportation. And it says that New York City and Illinois state government were caught unprepared for the influx of migrants, leading to resource allocation changes. And Cash Jordan was even pointing out in one of his videos how New York only has so many different places to pull money from, funding-wise, to pay for these migrants. And the biggest pot they have available is education. So odds are they're going to start pulling money from the schools to support the migrants, the same migrants who are turning their nose up at the food that's being given to them,
free food,
and throwing it away, and then going out and buying their own food somewhere else. I don't know where migrants are getting this money from. Actually, I take it back. I know where the migrants are getting the money from. I'm just saying it out of disbelief because it's like people are telling me that they're broke and they don't have any money and this, that, and the other. And they're U.S. citizens. They were born here. They live here. They work here, and they've given so much. Yet now they got nothing, whereas you could just show up and be handed money, a free hotel room, free food, a smartphone.
I wonder with the Social Security overpayment, and they're trying to get this money back, do they really overpay people, or did the government pull from Social Security to give to the migrants?
Well, technically, the government has. They are legally allowed to borrow money from Social Security. They're supposed to pay it back.
So
where
that's
that money
why Social Security now is having such an issue and saying you got to pay us back because it's low. Maybe because the government took it and gave it to migrants, and now we don't have enough for our own people who are legally on Social Security.
Where the money goes, good luck tracking that in some forensic accounting. But legally, the government says they're allowed to borrow from Social Security. And you know how good the government is about paying their bills back on time. So, of course, they're going to pay Social Security back. They're not going to end up with a $34 trillion deficit. That'll never happen. Migrants are facing challenges in finding work and affordable living expenses in inexpensive cities like New York and Seattle. That was playing tricks on my eyes. Migrants struggle to find work in expensive cities and face limited assistance and shelter. Texas is flying migrants to sanctuary cities like Chicago due to new city ordinances restricting bus transportation.
And next thing you'll see is flight restrictions, because that's the whole thing. The bus restrictions probably have a lot to do with the fact that there are busloads of migrants being pushed here, there, and there. So they're like, you know what? No buses. Next thing you know what? No planes.
Next thing you'll probably see is Walmart drones flying migrants wherever they want to go. They just have little suspenders and just
holding on like Mary Poppins
they'll
with
be
her
flying
umbrella.
and then they'll drop your order down when you want it, and then they'll drop the migrant off somewhere else.
I was about to say, you ordering migrants?
But I mean, it's like, hey, welcome to America. Like, it's not like you. I don't know who told you you're gonna come over here and just be given this amazing life and a great job. Like,
well, they did come over here and were given things, whereas we who live here aren't given things.
Hey, you want to go to the country? Like, where do you live? And you say to yourself, you know what? I want to go to America because Biden's doing such a great job. I'm gonna have an amazing opportunity there. Like, that can't. Like, come on now.
I have to think that a lot of people that are coming to America is because it is so incredibly bad in their country that they're willing to take the risk.
Or they are instructed to come here because they have a job to do.
That was my next one.
Let's just say that.
Yeah.
So either way, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas are scheduled to visit Mexico to discuss mass migration issues with President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador. This meeting is set against the backdrop of a large migrant caravan heading towards the U.S. southern border. And I don't know if you guys have seen it. I talked about this probably like a month ago, but that caravan has grown. Mm-hmm. Like, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Some of them, I saw one video, they were riding on top of trains and people, like, all sorts of crazy stuff. The caravan, comprising about 6,000 people, mostly from Central America, Venezuela, Cuba, Bangladesh, and other countries, has many migrants who have been in Tapachula, Mexico for months seeking legal documents to travel through Mexico. This situation coincides with a significant increase in border crossings. In December, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, encountered 250,000 migrants, 250,000 migrants, nearing the record of 269,735 set in September and surpassing the 242,000 in November. And the majority of these migrants are crossing through Arizona's Tucson sector, followed by Texas's Del Rio sector.
You have to think that's 500,000 in 2 months. So what happens the other 10 months out of the year? You've got, oh, that's math. Come on now. 3 million? Is that 3 million?
Yeah.
3 million migrants a year?
At least.
In the last year?
That's at least. Congressman Tony Gonzalez.
So how do they count them? Are they really standing there with that little clicker? How many in your party for? Come on. You? Like, how are they getting these numbers?
It's a turnstile. They walk through, they got to push the little
But
thing.
then they show you the ones climbing under the barbed wire so that you think that it's happening.
Well, they got a
illegally,
margin of error. They got a margin of error.
Well, yeah,
you know?
but also that's the one so that you get mad and incensed and you don't realize the government's like, shh, over here. No barbed wire this way. Come here.
What if it was like, they'll let them in. They're like, whatever, y'all can come in. But they're like, hey, we got the news crew here. Can y'all just crawl under that fence?
And don't worry, it's rubber. It's not even real barbed wire. You're not going to scratch yourself. Just make it real believable.
Let's see here. So Congressman Tony Gonzalez, representing Eagle Pass and El Paso, acknowledged the administration's efforts, but expressed concern that these caravans would continue, potentially exacerbating the border crisis. Mexico's President Lopez Obrador expressed willingness to collaborate with the U.S., but also called for easing sanctions on Cuba and Venezuela, from where about 20% of the encountered migrants originate. Border Patrol agents and lawmakers are skeptical about the outcome of the meeting between Mayorkas, Blinken, and Obrador, expecting it to be more symbolic than substantive. They anticipate a reaffirmation of the Los Angeles Declaration of Migration and Protection without significant policy changes. Former Secretary of Service Agent Charles Marino commented and said that the policies of both the U.S. and Mexico seem aligned towards open borders and processing as many migrants into the country as possible, rather than reinstating deterrent measures.
So here's my question. Let's say you get a new president in 2024.
Yeah, because the old one's broke.
So you get a new president in
old
2024.
one's broken. It doesn't work no more.
And that president says, we're going to make a massive change at the border. How do you implement that? Unless you're standing there with a firing squad and that is your goal.
He might.
But that's what I'm saying, though.
He's a dictator. He's ruthless. But he's only going to be a dictator on the first day. That was it.
Okay, so the question is, what can you truly implement to make a change? The build the wall didn't work out well.
Make a change.
I
don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to do.
I don't know what they can do.
And But wait, there's more.
Unless you do, the Ring of Fire from Finding Nemo. If they build a moat and then just constantly have it on fire, it's harder to run through fire than it is to crawl under.
No, you can't do that.
Why?
Climate change. You can't do that. You can't do that.
I didn't say use those.
You can do an electric fire. It looks like fire, like those little fireplaces.
But then it zaps you.
Yeah.
You still have to have pain with the fire. What if
There's a guy with a bat. When you walk through the fake fire, he hits you in the nuts with the bat.
What if you did one of those invisible, like for the dogs, where if the dog gets to the wire, can you do that?
Yes, you can actually.
But don't they have to have a collar?
We could work around that.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool.
Elon, we need help.
Yes.
We need your tech. But wait, there's more. Experts believe that American people will bear the financial burden of the migrant crisis through potential tax increases and reduced benefits.
We're already bearing the cost of it.
So we talked about reduced benefits and Social Security.
Yep.
Increased taxes. But if we're going to pay for this fire, this Ring of Fire, and these shock collars, then somebody's got to pay for it.
I'll give an extra $1 for the Ring of Fire.
So next time you go shopping at Target, and you check out, they'll be like, or Walmart or wherever you shop.
Would you like to round up for the Ring of Fire
Yes.
cause? Because that's what it always. Would you like to round up? Would you like to donate to the border crisis? And you're like, yes, I would love to donate to the border crisis. It's like, thank you. We have so many migrants who need more money. And you're like, wait, what?
No.
You got to look at
that depends on where you shop.
Yeah, you got to look at the fine print.
That depends on where you shop. If you shop at Costco, he'll be like, no, we're not giving this money to the migrants.
We have boxes. You can give them boxes.
He ain't giving them shit.
Costco has boxes.
He ain't giving them shit. We got to talk about Costco later. I got to share that one with you.
Okay.
But experts believe, so potential tax increases and reduced benefits will likely impact American people financially. Shocker. Taxes at the country and city level may also go up to cover the cost of housing and shelter for illegal migrants. So get ready for that one.
Yeah.
And experts predict that the migrant crisis will continue, leading to ongoing financial implications for American taxpayers. Biden, what in the hell are you doing?
I'm trying to picture his answer.